Now I want you to listen to some music.
You say you're gonna make it rain. I don't feel it took a big game. But are you real enough to take the pain? That's what I'm giving, make you insane. Come and get it. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. When you see me come, you better step aside. 'Cause I got no time for your weakest lines. If I catch you in the club, try to fake my game. Bitch, you better bow down and say my name. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. Burning in my soul. And I don't wanna let go. Burning in my soul.
Enjoy the music and move on your feet. Enjoy the music and move on your feet. Enjoy the music and move on your feet. Enjoy the music and move on your feet.
Nature endows us at birth with three general patterns of emotional response: rage, fear, and love.
I'm living my truth. Nobody telling me what to do. It's cool. I pay my dues. I see it through. And there's not a damn thing you can do. The future's uncertain, but what else is new? Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Let's make a deal. No time to hate. Too busy negotiating my rate. No need for the AK. Watch me kill 'em with my pump and slay. Always saying what you're gonna be. Always sounding like I wanna be. You come in here acting rich. Bitch, read the room. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. Burning in my soul. And I don't wanna let go. Burning in my soul.
Welcome to Bring Singles. I'm Ashlie.
I'm Lauren, and I'm easily swayed because I have card glassware, so I will be joining you for drinks because You gotta know when to hold them, guys.
That's really hot. That's really hot. I'm shooting out of my TCB shot glass.
Oh, I used to have one of those.
Yeah, that I got from Graceland. Weird
All right.
flex.
So
Welcome to Bring Singles. We're talking about gambling tonight.
yeah, I can't wear these. They're like really weird. They're the best. Quick story about these glasses. They say all in. For those of you unaffiliated with the nature of poker, you're probably gonna find this show terrible.
Yeah, you're gonna hate
That's
it.
these came to me in the best of ways. My sister, who is on, used to work for T-Mobile, and they had a like in-team thing that was like everybody was all in for T-Mobile. And I go visit her and I see all these glasses and I was like, what the fuck are these? I need like all of these. And she goes, why? I'm like, this is what I say all day. I just say all in. So for those of you that don't know, I used to play poker for a living. It was very strange. Belated cheers, Ash.
Yeah, sorry about that. My body was like, what are you doing? You have a head cold. Why are you
All right.
drinking mezcal? We should say right off the bat, don't gamble. Gambling
Gambling's terrible
for you. It's a really bad idea. It can ruin your life and your relationships and your health, like most of the things we talk about on this show.
But I can't say that entirely because, I mean, you do play poker for fun with your friends, and that is gambling.
I said
But
you can.
poker
Not
is
that
a skill game. There's other games of gambling that are also skill games. But
it can. It won't necessarily. I'm not saying it will, but it certainly can. And if you have a problem with gambling, reach out to us in the chat and we will get you a number to call. That said.
Yes, that's a big part of it because most of the time when you're gambling against the house, it's terrible and they cheat and they make all the rules in their favor. Anyway, we can get into that anytime you guys want. I'll talk about it all day. However, we're going to talk about fun gambling stories because they do exist and there is a world in which you can gamble within your means and still use it as entertainment. And that is great. So
when did you get into gambling, Lauren? Like, what was the first thing? Like, when did you first know that gambling was a thing that existed? And when were you like, yeah, I want to do that?
So I was kind of a luck box from day one. That's like a poker term. It's people that run good. I won all the raffles like in our school, and like I would like get the grand prize and everyone's like, you're always lucky. And so like I think I might have been 6 and my mom would always buy lotto tickets and she let me pick my numbers for the first time and I won $26.50. So there you go. But then also my dad taught me, I learned how to play chess when I was very young and backgammon. And my dad would gamble with me for my allowance playing backgammon. So I'll play backgammon with anybody all day. Love that game. Love to gamble on it. Love to play it without gambling. But it's funny because when I first legally gamed in a casino, I was in Detroit in Greektown with my friend Annie, and I put 5 cents in a slot machine and I won. Guess how much I won? My first legal gambling.
$26.
$26.50. There you go. Gambling
that's the magic, right? Like
figure it out. So that's how they get you. That's how they get you.
Yep, that is absolutely true. I too was like a lucky kid. And there's something about being told that you're lucky enough, that like lucky early, that like makes you be like, oh, this is like an awesome thing to be. But I also like grew up watching like reruns of The Odd Couple, and my dad played poker, and I just knew that it was something that men did. And it seemed like all the things that men got to do were really cool things that didn't have anything to do with the stuff that I had no interest in, which was like cooking and cleaning and taking care of babies, which was like, not all the women that I knew growing up in Arkansas were like that, but like, you know, I was a kid, so I knew moms, right? So like, and I saw that moms had like a shit gig from the beginning. I was like, nah.
Nobody's yelling dad as much as they're yelling mom.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so I think I knew that gambling was something that like a lot of things was something that was sort of secret and hidden. And I figured probably really, really fun. Probably the earliest like dopamine hit thing was like garbage pail kids cards or baseball cards. Like a friend of mine said something about Pokemon
I
cards
have
the other day.
basketball cards. I could get you guys and you could just pilfer through my 1992-93 Fleet collection because it's great.
Man,
Yeah, I was really into
porn.
that. That was dopamine fix for shiz.
Right, because like you'd open it, you know, my friend Mira was talking about it, and she was like, you just like would open them up, and there was like a way of opening them that was like a lucky way,
17
and,
Shaquille
like,
O'Neal rookie cards. Do I know where they are? No, because they were special and they're not in the book.
right.
So you don't know.
Right, you were like, I'm putting these somewhere for safekeeping.
Yeah, this
but
is
I will
paying
never
for a
remember
semester
as
of
adult.
college. Yeah, right.
Yeah, you were saving them from your adult self.
Yeah, I played poker growing up upstate outside on the beach a lot with my friends, and we had also played bullshit and Egyptian rat screw.
You played,
was
yes,
like
all those
really
games.
fun.
Yeah.
But I love bullshit because bluffing is my favorite part of poker, and it's my favorite part of balderdash and lots of other things. And I think it's going to be fun when we're going to do something later that involves bluffing. It's like I don't know, any games, like to me, just any strategy games that you play with other people, there's such an interesting interpersonal element that I think that is such, I don't know, it's really fun.
Sanctioned lying, right? Like as an actor, I really sort of, you know, even though acting is sort of as hinky as it sounds, sort of telling the truth under imaginary circumstances. Like it's the one way, like playing games and gambling is a way to lie to your friends, and like it's fun and entertaining, right? And we get to see like a side of our friends that we don't get to see in our regular interpersonal relationships, right? Like I played a lot of spades in high school. I still maintain that if there was like a spades table at a casino, that's all I would do. Like,
hey, we are going to learn to play bridge. I thought we decided that's going to be our new hobby, to play bridge
right.
together.
Yeah,
all right, we're going to have to start getting on that.
Yeah.
I want you to tell your first story.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is the story of Lauren has many fancy poker stories. I only have one, but it is very fancy. And it begins on the day, Greta, if you have these photos to pull up, it begins on the day of Fox Upfronts in 2013, when I was doing a show called Us and Them. That was a sitcom that ended up getting buried after we shot a handful of episodes and never airing. So it's on Crackle now, if you'd like to see it.
Oh, really? I wanted to watch it so badly.
Yeah. So, Lauren, I don't know if you can see this.
Oh, yeah, I can see it now.
This is a photo of the RZA of Wu-Tang Clan photo bombing our cast. He just ran up and did this. So we were part of upfronts in general is that you're selling programming to sponsors. So you're like taking pictures with people from Topeka as a cast, you know, like, and so they had the four of us there, which is Dustin Ibarra, Jason Ritter, Alexis Bledel, and myself, to like take pictures with folks. And the RZA was doing his own show, like this procedural, and had his own little Fox backdrop set up. And I guess just decided he wanted to come fuck with us. So he came running over. And if we could, Jason Ritter is so living his best life in this moment. If we can get a photo of the close up of Jason's face in this moment, he is so thrilled. You can really tell how impromptu it was. Like the whole thing took maybe 45 seconds. Look at Jason. He's so excited. He cannot believe this is happening to him. None of us could. But he's just, I've never seen his mouth open that wide in my entire life. Okay, so the day goes on. There's parties, right? It's like parties you have to go to, which is,
oh,
I know, where? It's kind of my favorite kind of party because I'm like, well, they told us to, right? Side note, despite the fact that you would think that the poker night was the highlight of this story, the actual highlight is that I have a very weird celebrity crush. Like my number one celebrity crush for a long time was a very weird choice for a lot of people. And Jason and Alexis thought it was very funny that I had this celebrity crush. So I had gone to go use the restroom, and Alexis came running out and was like, we got him, but we don't know how long we can hold him for. So come back. And so I went back to the table, and I got to talk to my celebrity crush, who is Seth Green, for like a good 15 minutes. Like Jason was literally like holding him at a table for me. So there's a picture that we took together. Oh, nice. Awesome. So yeah, so that is, you can see how overjoyed I am. We actually talked about just really filthy things, like just like not in a way of like being sexual towards each other, but being sort of like,
Your husband says you have weird taste in men.
come on, look at Seth Green. He's so cute. And he was so fun. And we just like talked about finger banging, like,
Oh yeah, totally.
just like real dumb stuff. Anyway,
Not shocked.
so then we go to the Rose Room. We've been in Central Park in these tents, right? And then they take us to the Rose Room at the Time Warner Center that overlooks what is that thing?
Columbus
Lincoln.
Circle?
Yes, Columbus Circle. Thank you. I just made this gesture.
Hey, that's where I'm at. Like I'm doing pantomime. I'm like describing things to people, trying to figure out words. It's fine.
Sure. COVID, pandemic, brain fog. We've all got it. It's great. So we're in the Rose Room at Jazz at Lincoln Center, in that Time Warner building overlooking the thing. And Jason and I are standing at the bar talking, and with a handful of lovely people. And all of a sudden, someone shows up at my and says, hey, Ike Barinholtz, that's who it was. Ike Barinholtz from the Mindy Project shows up and is like, this is the name droppiest fucking story. I'm so sorry. He drops up and
We
he's
did
like,
tease name dropping.
we did. Well, I'm following through.
We
and
haven't
he
even
was like,
gotten to half of them.
I know. He was like, hey, listen, Seth MacFarlane does a poker table at every one of these. He's not here, but I'm running it. You guys want in? And I was like, what? And Jason's like, yeah, what's the buy-in? And Ike's like, $300. And I was like, do all of you people, do celebrities just carry $300 around all the time? Like, what? That seems insane to me. And so I was like, I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna get to play in this badass poker game because I don't carry $300 in this fucking clutch purse I got from a swag thing. Anyway, all of a sudden I feel a tug on my jacket, and I turn around and it's Maria Dezia, or not Maria Dezia, I'm sorry, it's my friend Maria, who is the casting person for the show for Fox. And she's like, do you trust me? And I was like, what? And she was like, do you trust me? And I was like, yeah, of course I do. You're the reason I'm here. She was like, give me your ATM card. Go sit at the table. Give me your ATM card, and I will make this happen for you. And I was like, yeah. She's like, your pin. And I was like, and then, oh, I must just send my pin on Twitter. That's a terrible idea. It's the same.
It's a terrible thing that it's the same pin. That was just like 2013.
Yes. So she runs away. I sit down at the table. At the table is the RZA and Darren Criss and another guy from Glee, a handful of other people. And Jason and I sit down, and I've got a picture of Jason and the RZA at that table.
The RZA is a vegan, everybody, in case you didn't know.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, there's the picture. It was, without a doubt,
Fuck you.
best hand in the best set of hands I've ever lost on. I know, isn't it just adorable? Like Jason is just a picture of sincerity and like baller. I don't even know how to explain it.
We're not going to tell it tonight, but I'll tease my Jason Ritter story again. But I'm not telling it tonight.
Lauren has a great Jason Ritter story that he hates.
but it's just too good. Okay. All right.
My head cold. So
unrelated.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. Don't hurt yourself picking up the names you're dropping. I know. Don't hurt yourself picking up the names I'm dropping. I'm dropping them. I don't have to pick them up. I'm just going to leave them there. Somebody will take them. So we're sitting there and I played such great poker and it just wasn't enough. The RZA, by the way, went out on the second hand. Went all in second hand.
If I saw the people in that photo, my money's on him because he's a big chess guy, and chess and poker share a lot of strategy, a lot of forward thought and your plan. And
yeah, I think he had other places to be. Honestly,
I
think he was like,
all right, we need to move away from the RZA. I'm just gonna have a break. I'm gonna have a breakdown.
Yeah, I think he deliberately got out in the second hand because he was like, I can lose $300 or I can be stuck at this table on a Friday night for like hours. And he was probably like, deuces.
So Michael Ian Black was also on that show with you, yeah?
Oh yeah, but wait, this is not the end of the story.
Oh,
great. The end of the story is that Jason won.
Oh shit.
So Ike Barinholtz busted me out. I had the best hand I probably had in my life, which was I had a straight flush. Queen high.
Okay.
And Ike had a straight flush king high because he managed to
oh well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I mean, if there's a 4 on the all right, whatever. We don't need to get the statistics of this, but right.
Yes.
It's not like a James Bond scenario that's like mathematically remote in every sense of the word. This is
no, not at all. I mean, not at all. It was pretty
mathematically remote. It's just like, it's talking about 2% of the time versus like 0.0.
Right, but I was also would have been dumb to not go in on it. You know what I mean? And then I busted out. So
the wizard says Jason Ritter was cheating.
Amazing. So Jason won, and Jason, I think, didn't want to win. I think Jason was really like embarrassed and like was trying to be like the good guest and just like play and have a good time.
You don't. That's crazy. You're not playing a poker. You like if you're gonna play in a game against me, you better be trying to win. Or
well, yeah, but it's not like a poker game. We're at upfronts, man. Right. All of these people care more about being liked.
I get that. I mean, I've played in charity events where people expect me to be like cordial, and I am more cordial, but I am still playing poker against you.
Right.
Which is like half the reason that people want to play against, people that are better than them too. But obviously, like this is more, like I'm not familiar with this environment, but I can kind of gather what you're saying. Is that the conclusion of the story?
So Jason won. I need you to see this picture of Jason scooping his chips up. That is absolutely absurd. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze again. Sorry, y'all. Excuse me. There we go.
Aw.
There's our boy. So
it's so cute.
I think he felt really bad taking everyone's chips. He just
he's playing it well.
Winning. Yeah. Can we get a close up on Jason's face so you can really see the anguish? Amazing. Yeah, he's a good
really I can't believe sorry.
I mean, look at him. He's just like, oh man, I really wanted I really wanted somebody else to win this.
I went to college with him.
I do know that. I do know you went to college.
All right. So Michael Ian Black was also on this show with you, right?
That's true. Yeah.
So I knew that, I think this is probably maybe 2014. This is shortly after the show didn't get picked up.
Yeah.
But I know that Ashlie was on the show with Michael Ian Black. I am like a huge fan of The State and all of those people. And I'm at the Venetian, and this is when either I was living in Vegas or it was during the World Series during the summer, and I'm playing poker. I'm playing 2-5 no limit at the Venetian, and a table over, Michael Ian Black gets seated, but it's a 1-2 game, which is lower stakes than what I was playing. And the game I was in was really good. So it was like hard for me to want to leave. So I text Ashlie, sorry, I have to admit someone. So I text Ashlie and go, and no, this is why I wanted to join the game. Greta, if you can put up the GIF. So basically, when you see Michael Ian Black at a poker table and you're a fan of the state and you're familiar with Barry and Levon, well, you want to get moved to his table so you can raise him $240 because that's a lot of pudding. So I'm just like losing my shit over like being able to move to his table and then be able to raise him $240, which is definitely feasible at a 1-2 game, but depending on the stacks, you might not get to. So I text Ashlie this plan because I just can't help find it too funny, but I also can't like financially leave the game that I'm in. And so like I get tapped on the shoulder and I turn and it's Michael Ian Black because Ashlie had texted him and he came over to fanboy at me. It was really cute. It was like, and I was also just like, I wanted to raise you $240. And he was like,
did you tell him that?
I definitely told him that. I was like, I didn't want to be like, I'm creepy and wanted to be in your game just to like, we be whatever. I wanted to raise you $240.
I had a purpose in this.
So yeah, man,
that's great.
Maybe someday I'll get to raise someone $240 for pudding. You like pudding? You would want $240.
I love pudding. Any amount it comes in, I will be happy for.
I guess we have one more picture we can show before we go to the reading.
Please.
Is the picture of my mom and me. So I'm only showing this because of that sweatshirt that I'm wearing. So that sweatshirt just says gambling. And it unfortunately was very petite on me even then. And I bought it because I got it at a dollar store. There used to be all these dollar stores downtown Vegas that were incredible. And as like a New Yorker, I don't know if people realize like there's not really dollar stores everywhere else that are like the independent style ones. So when you find them other places, like actually there's a deli in Las Vegas that I swear is a time portal to the deli that used to be across from Freddy's before they demolished the area. Because that deli, that bodega, you would go in and you could buy people Christmas.
I loved that bodega.
You know what I found at that bodega?
What?
A Miami Vice costume that was still in the package from the 80s. Dude,
like they had all kinds of random shit in that.
So basically, I got this gambling sweatshirt at like one of the last dollar stores downtown Vegas, just because it said gambling, which I thought was really funny. So I wore it around, and this is when I was like a high stakes blackjack player. And this is a comp suite that I brought my mom out to Las Vegas to see Cher. And I made her sit next to me when I was playing Advantage Blackjack, and she was very uncomfortable, but it was really fun because like she didn't know how to like play the part. It was very funny.
That's awesome.
To me, playing the part was always like a lot of the fun because it's, especially when you're trying to fleece the casino, because really fuck them. They're just trying to take everybody's money, and they don't like when you
playing blackjack more than poker.
They have similarities, I suppose, in like the in variance. Like the variance is more extreme in blackjack, and you're generating probably a smaller edge. So like the volume, it's like similar to poker where the edge you're generating is small, so you need a large sample size. So if you're having like a downswing, it can.
Wait, what does that mean? That makes no sense to me.
You're losing.
You basically just told me to make an Excel spreadsheet. So like,
right. Yeah. So basically, if like you're like going down, like you're losing money, but it's still within the expected range, it still sucks and it's very annoying. So you kind of like hate it. But blackjack was fun because I don't know, you're like kind of sticking it to the corporations sort of, and I got to see, I mean, I've seen pretty much every Cirque du Soleil show.
Because you're betting against the house every time. It's every individual player bets against the house.
Yeah,
no one bets against another person.
Yes. But like playing poker is different. I mean, that's, I think, is more interesting. Like, but personally, I prefer to play games that are not just Texas Hold'em. And a lot of people don't really care about those other games as much. Like the games that you'd see in the old timey movies, like 7-Card Stud and Raz. And like, to me, those are more pure forms. And like, and I still like to play, actually, like if I can figure out how we can play like a Poker Stars home game with everybody for play chips, we're going to figure out maybe for the next gambling episode, but I have to, figure that story out before we can offer it.
Yeah, and then you can all join and we can all play together.
Yes.
That sounds so fun.
So
and you know what you know, maybe we can get in with some of the people, with your people, and
what people?
Oh, you're on like a sponsorship or a donation.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, PokerStars is a very generous. I have friends that are sponsored by PokerStars, but you know, not like it's just a different world now in the U.S. since poker was made illegal almost 10 years ago.
Yes,
it's crazy. I mean, even like downloading the PokerStars software last week, I ended up playing in like a home game with a friend, and it was so weird because it's just different than it used to be, and I'm not used to it. It's just so weird, but yeah, I still like definitely want to break laptops when I lose hands. So probably don't need to do that.
Right.
I am like overly competitive, and variance doesn't agree with that. But
what do you mean when you say variance?
Variance is the fluctuation in the expected value. So like, so when you roll a dice, like there's an expectation. So say you roll 2 dice, all right, there's an expectation that 17% of the time you're going to roll a 7.
Right.
That's just the statistical nature of it. And it goes down like 14%, 11%. And so like there is a statistical nature to the way that you bet at craps, because there is an expected value to each of those bets that you can define based on the size of the bet. So like when you have these controlled sample portions of math problem, basically, I'm going to just bastardize. If James is watching, I'm just going to get like a mouthful, but there's an expectation of loss or win on a certain event. Same thing with like sports betting. That's why there's like plus 300 or minus this or whatever. It's like basically odds. Like, so they set an expectation, and like the way that sports books makes money is on the vigorish that they charge. So like,
right.
But the variance is just basically, it's like the roller coaster of the long run. So like in the long run, your graph is going like this, but in the interim, it's going to have a lot of that. So there might be months where you're like, you know, you're just killing it and you're like winning like $150 an hour and you're just like a baller. And then there's like maybe months where you're losing lots of money per hour and you are just, so like it's, but it doesn't necessarily matter because it's the volume and it's still like consistency and whatnot, but it's still it's an insane discipline in any field to do that. But
right. Gambling's like acting in that way. Also in that, like,
for sure,
the payoff is generous enough to justify the loss in the interim, right? Like if you are gambling and losing and then you win big enough that it pays for.
Well, generally that's what people like to think, and generally that's like the erroneous problem. So like casinos are happy that people think they can card count because they're doing it poorly, and so like the casino is doing well on that. Like,
right.
It is this ideology, like people erase, like the dopamine rush erases this bad memory. I think it's the same thing with like childbirth. Like you don't remember the bad and then you do it again. Like, you know, so it's really something. And I think it really is an interesting character study. You see, like, I do think that the reason I became better at poker was because I was a professional bartender in New York, because you see people that are inebriated and they drop their filter. So you see a lot of this humanity. And then you kind of see bits and pieces of that when people are uncomfortable and they're gambling, which brings me to tells.
Yes.
And reading people, which is a valuable skill in all parts of life, but is particularly fun at poker table. But personally, I like to use my skills at Balderdash.
Balderdash
for $100 an hour.
Wow.
I can beat you all at Balderdash. I'll put money on every game. Anyway.
I would play Balderdash for money, but
I love the game so much. That was like my favorite game as a kid.
I have issues though. So don't do it because I mean, not that anyone here is like, oh yeah, Ashlie always has a good idea of what to do in general.
I think you'd be fantastic at Balderdash, because I think coming up with like fake definitions, you would be fantastic.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty good at that game.
Like I think it's just a really fun, creative game, and then you get into like the strategic elements of it, which I'm not going to get into because I charge for that.
Right.
So what you
We don't
guys do
have
get to
that
learn
kind
for
of money.
free tonight is a little bit, we're gonna have a couple other members of the co-op come in.
Yay!
Ashlie and I are going to have them tell us 2 truths and a lie. We're gonna ask a few questions, and then we're going to pick, we're each gonna write down what we pick, so that way we don't change our scope. We're not gonna look at the chat during this segment as well, because we don't want to be influenced, but guys, you should feel free to guess based on what you think. And then I'm going to teach Ashlie some tips, and then we're going to read each other, and then we're going to do one final reading, and that's it. So
I'm going to do a stop clock for 60 seconds for questions after each 2 truths and a lie contestant, basically.
All right. We may need longer than that, depending, but because they have to read them as well.
Yes.
So let her start reading, and then you can run the clock.
Yeah, of course.
Or speaking. I don't know if she's going to read from anything.
Oh, no, it was just going to be for questions after you're done.
Can we get Stacy?
I'm very excited about this. So you're just going to show me how to do this the first time around, right? And then.
Yeah. Sure. I'm going to basically walk you through. So basically what we're going to do is, the other participants, with the exception of Dara, who is not watching because I want her to be the control that doesn't have any information.
Right.
It's fine if the other participants try to change how they're going to act based on the things that I say the person before. But again, that's all known information. So there's something about people the classic poker tells of act weak when you're strong and act strong when you're weak, the most obvious reverse psychology nonsense that an 8-year-old can master. That's kind of the same way you can do anything that has this kind of strategy, right? So and there's just tons of different layers. Great. So all right, we got Stacy. Welcome, Stacy. Stacy, tell everybody what shows you host.
Oh, I host Every Rose Has Its Thorn. It's a queer and feminist reading of The Bachelor, and talking about really where it exists in the wider world. And also Dick Simpson Was Here, which is a show about Schitt's Creek.
Or about cheese, like last
it's about Schitt's Creek.
It really diverged into a cheese fan club.
Last night's episode got a little bit off topic, but in a fun way.
Oh yeah, it was fun. All right, so you're gonna give me 2 truths and a lie, and then we're gonna ask you questions.
Okay. So when I was 8, I had a Disney World review published in a guidebook. When I was in high school, I was an avid cosplayer and made my own costumes. When I was 10, I was one of the top 10 richest Neopets players.
All right. I'm going to ask you to read those again, but backwards.
Okay. When I was 10, I was one of the top 10 richest Neopets players. When I was in high school, I was an avid cosplayer and made my own costumes. When I was 8, I had a Disney World review published in a guidebook.
Hit her with some questions, Ash.
What was the guidebook?
It was, I forget what it was called. It was a kids Disney guidebook.
Gotcha. What was your favorite cosplay and the costume piece you made for it?
Favorite cosplay was probably.
This has got to be true.
It just feels, yeah. Well, also she's looking up and to the right, which I know is a true thing versus
it's
a
true.
lie.
If you're looking back and to the left, you're into the movie JFK. So, sorry, I can't help myself. If a back and to the left joke presents itself, it will be told. So I'm sorry, I have to tell it because I was in Sephora on November 22nd a few years ago, and this woman asked this woman where the brand was, and she said to the back and to the left, and I just started looking around, and I was like, no one is here. But it was November 22nd. Anyway,
that's fucking dark. All right. I just asked a minute worth of questions. Do you
Okay,
want a
I
minute
have one
worth?
more, and then we can guess.
Yeah.
Neopets, is that like Tamagotchi or something?
Yeah, it kind of, honestly. It's was a website or is a website where you adopted virtual pets and made money playing games and playing like a stock market type thing and doing all kinds of like similar stuff. There was a chat function. It still exists. At one point, it got taken over by Scientologists.
Oh, sounds like we gotta get into it.
Which is like a totally unrelated thing, but really fucking funny.
Ashlie, have you voted?
No, but I'm gonna do it right this second.
Okay.
As soon as I find my damn Sharpie. All right, we're voting on the lie, yes?
Yeah, pick the lie. Everybody in the chat, feel free to give your 2 cents. I'm not gonna read it though, so don't try to impress me. And maybe I can read it later. I don't know.
All right, bet.
All right.
You could always read it like between.
Yeah.
Lauren is right.
So, you know what? I knew because, and the reason I had you read them backwards.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes when people choose ordering, that is something that happens. But also, you blinked more ferociously when you read it the first time. That was incongruent with the other two. And then when you read them backwards, I think you kind of tried to make your movements more ubiquitous. So, yeah. Nice. There you go. All right, let's get number 2.
I love this.
Thank you, Stacy.
You're amazing. Thank you, Stacy.
But she does know about Neopets, so she's smart because she did her research.
Yeah, and I knew about Neopets, and but like the second she said that stuff about the kids' guidebook, the Disney guidebook, I was like, that is absolutely, for sure, a real thing. 100%.
Let's do Karen.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
Karen.
Karen is up. All right, Karen, tell everybody your shows besides the other one that you hosted.
I have 2 shows. Dick Simpson was here with Stacy, where we talk about Schitt's Creek, and also, yeah, I stumbled over that, and you shouldn't probably not stumble over Schitt's Creek. I am also the host of Show and Tell, which is a show where I have people come on to tell me about things that they are passionate about. So anything that they're passionate about, I am interested in hearing about.
What have some of your shows been about in the past?
So my first show was actually one that for me, and we did Teriology, which is Terrence Howard's view of math.
Actor Terrence Howard.
Yes, actor Terrence Howard, actor, Renaissance man, really. Terrence Howard has come up with his own version of math called Teriology. So there's that.
Sure.
Then we did vampires with my friend Lynette, mostly a lot of pop culture vampires. And then last week was World's Fairs and
Time Capsules, right?
Thank you, because I couldn't remember words.
I tuned in for that.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate it. With my friend Kirk, but next week we will have Alex on talking about Wonder Woman. So
awesome.
Cool. Like Wonder Woman, the films are just like the general character and all of its iterations.
Oh no. So there is a 2011, I feel like Alex is going to correct me on that. Pilot.
Oh, the pilot. Oh God. Right. Yes. Okay. I'll watch that.
I'm excited about that.
All right. We got to get back on task.
All right, but yeah. Sorry. I know I'm getting excited about Karen's shows. I'm on one currently.
No, hit it. 2 truths and a lie.
I'm ready.
All right, I had to write them down because I forget things. Awesome. 1, I was in a car accident that had me dangling over an overpass. 2, I saw Gerard Depardieu walking on Tverskaya in Moscow. 3, on a flight to Barcelona, I was allowed into the cockpit.
Can you read number 2 again?
Sure. I saw Gerard Depardieu walking on Tverskaya in Moscow.
Walking on
Tverskaya, it's a street.
Okay, gotcha. Did you used to live in Moscow?
I did. I studied there.
Oh, where do you go to MGU?
I went to Mahat.
Ah, my
So,
brother went to MGU for a year.
yeah, I was part of my grad school program.
That's awesome. Do you? I mean, it's a great city. I really enjoyed that I got to go there. Very lucky.
It has its moments.
I believe this Gerard Depardieu business.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Why
I
are
feel
we
like
going to
Gerard
Barcelona?
Depardieu is everywhere all the time. He's in every capital of every place.
Yeah,
He's-
I believe that. 100%.
I feel like I've at least seen Gerard Depardieu in a sauna. At least I convinced myself it was him.
Right.
I'm sorry.
What were you doing in Barcelona? Why were you going to Barcelona?
So most of my study abroad was in like different places. So I was actually going from London to Barcelona. Just we were on a break from class in Barcelona.
What airline?
Oh my God. Here's the thing. I'm old.
What year
I
was
don't
this?
remember. It
What
would
year?
have been 1998. Yeah.
Were you
So-
traveling by yourself?
No, I was with a friend.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
All right. Okay.
Dangling over an overpass. Is that fun?
It is not. I don't drive anymore because I try to drive, but I'm like terrified of driving because of that accident.
Driving is terrifying.
Yeah.
Very reasonable.
Because apparently
Where
there's
were
a lot
you?
of chances to die.
Were you here? Were you in New Orleans? Where were you when that happened?
I was in Syracuse, which is apparently up there when you talk about it.
It is. It's really all it needs to be said about Syracuse.
And you were driving.
I was not driving. My friend was driving.
How do you feel? You feel satisfied, Ashlie?
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
All right. Man, I feel like I'm going to get this one wrong, but I'm not changing my mind.
Okay.
Sometimes that's what you got to do in poker too, and it sucks because you're like, "Gah!"
Yeah, man. I remember somebody, a poker guy, being like, "You always have to advance or give up the hand." And sometimes that just means that I'm advancing when I don't want to, because I don't want to give up.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what you're hoping for. All right.
I'm gonna say Barcelona.
Cockpit.
Yep. There you go. We agree at least. Karen.
Damn it, it's number 2. It's Gerard Depardieu.
Ah!
All right. Well, I did know that the car accident, there was genuine emotion behind that. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I would like to say that I also came in second place at Ashley's poker tournament. The first time I played.
It was your first time ever playing poker.
God damn it. Wait, so you just don't think Gerard Depardieu is hanging in Moscow? Is that the
He
story?
does. That's why I used his name, because that's where he hangs out.
All right, but this is plausible that you saw that. I'm just saying that, like,
Yeah. Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know at
That's
the
a
time,
good
at the
choice of
time, I
lie.
don't think he was hanging out there, but it's plausible, yes.
It's a
very
very
good choice of lie. All right.
Thank you so much, Karen.
Karen, that was awesome.
I'm terrible at this game.
Man, the thing is about Barcelona is I really wanted it to be after 9/11 because then that would be so obvious to lie. And then I would have gone with Depardieu. But because it was the 90s, I was like, maybe somebody in the 90s, you know,
Right.
let somebody in the cockpit. Who knows? I'm
Right.
sure of it. I mean, come on. Man. And if it was like, you know, EasyJet, I feel like those planes aren't that rules. I mean, I've flown them. I went on a cruise operated by them.
Right.
It's a whole other show.
Right.
All right, is Candace up?
Yeah. Can we get another content?
There we go. All right.
Yay.
Hi,
Yay.
Candace.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Hi,
Yeah.
Candace.
Fantastic. How are you?
Thanks for playing with us.
Heads up, my dog might make a guest appearance. We'll see.
I'll read them too. Dogs love playing poker. You get enough.
True. There is like documentation of that.
Yeah,
There
like
is.
archaeological stuff,
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Old school. Like.
hieroglyphs and whatnot of dogs just like hanging out, playing cards.
Yeah. Just
Oh.
bulldogs playing poker. Yep.
All right, are you hosting a show? Yes. No.
I am new enough that I do not yet host a show.
All right. Well, we can look forward to some stuff, I'm sure.
Candace is our newest member that will be
Yes.
playing tonight.
You're getting thrown in the fire right away.
Gotta do it eventually.
Candace is also is really a great co-op member in terms of being very active in our chats, which is one of the reasons why I was super excited that Candace decided to join, because Candace was being the smartest person in the chat for like all the chats.
The chattiest person in the chat, which
I mean, yeah, I might equate those things too often, but that's a flaw of mine. But you're awfully smart and you're awfully funny, and I'm really glad that you're with us.
Aw, thank
And
you. I look forward to stumbling through a show when I start one. So
yay! I'll be there.
It's fun. You get everybody watches. It's a great time.
It is really, really fun.
And you get like a million texts, and then you look at them after the show, and you're like, "Thanks for that, guys. I was on the air. I was trying not to look at my phone." All right, hit us with 2 truths and a lie.
Okay,
Exactly.
Much like the others, I wrote mine down. Just
Smart play strategy.
Yep.
So my 3rd year in high school, the service searched my lunch.
What was that? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
My
Sorry.
3rd year in high school, the Secret Service searched my lunch.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
My 3rd year in college, I was a guest on a then popular talk show. And my 3rd year in grad school, I was in my university's production of Into the Woods.
Can you read them again? I'd like you to read them backwards if you would.
Okay. Sorry, that's my dog. My 3rd year in grad school, I was in my university's production of Into the Woods. My 3rd year in college, I was a guest on a then popular talk show. My 3rd year in high school, the Secret Service searched my lunch.
All right. Where'd you grow up? Where'd you go to high school?
I grew up in New Orleans and I went to Ben Franklin High School.
Where'd you go to college?
Karen also went to Ben Franklin High School. I went to Princeton.
Okay.
College.
Can you tell us what this popular talk show was?
I can. It was the Sally Jesse Raphael show.
Wow. Why were you a guest on that show?
Because teenagers are stupid.
Are her glasses as big as they appear?
Yes. They were as big as they appear. When I was growing up, I actually used to intentionally pick glasses. I liked red eyeglasses. I'm not wearing mine right now because they make a green glare on the screen. But as a teenager, I wore a lot of red glasses like Sally Jesse Raphael.
Where did you go to grad school?
Stanford University.
All right. They had like an acting program, Ashlie? Come on, you know about everything.
Right. Who did you play in Into the Woods, Candace?
What was your question? Sorry.
Who did you play in Into the Woods?
I was Red Riding Hood.
Oh my God. Can you give me just a little taste?
I knew you were going to ask me that. And
Ooh.
Okay. And I know things now, many valuable things that I hadn't known before. Do not put your faith in a cape and a hood. They will not protect you the way that they should. And take extra care with strangers. Even flowers have their dangers, and though scary is exciting, nice is different than good.
Yay!
This is 20 years later. So
you sound great.
20 years later, I'm like, I think I can still hit that note a little bit.
And the second you were like, Lil Red, I was like, yeah.
So what president was at your your high school?
Bill Clinton.
All right, I'm ready to guess.
Wow. I'm unsure. Okay. Give me a second.
This is so much fun. I love this kind of shit. It's so stupid. I could literally do this for hours.
It's definitely a fun getting to know you game.
Yeah. But it's like, it's fun because also like I was trying to think of things because I'm gonna do Ashlie and I'm like trying to think of like, oh, I probably mentioned this story at some point. Cause like if you don't know people well, it's like everything's kind of an interesting tidbit. Like these all sound like amazing, interesting stories, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
I have an advantage tonight because I don't know anyone except Karen in the co-op, really.
Because you went to Princeton.
No, because she went to Benton.
And we were shitty bartenders.
All right, I'm ready. You ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you said Sally. I said searched lunch.
Okay, here's what's great. You're both wrong.
Ah!
She just played you with that thing, man.
Here's my question. I did think like, oh, she could just know the song. But did you play that role just not at that time, in a different time?
No, I auditioned for Cinderella because I was even more of a soprano then. I got a call back for Red Riding Hood. But one of my few very short list of regrets in life, I chickened out and I didn't go to my callback.
Oh,
I have never played any role in anything. I've never been in a production. Well, I played a role on Sally Jesse Raphael because I was lying about my life, but
right.
Damn. Oh, all right. Well, I guess the reason I picked Sally Jesse Raphael is the same reason, I guess, that I didn't pick Into the Woods, but I could have picked that. You had extrapolated research. You had like a readiness to speak about, like, because you could have anticipated something about Sally Jesse Raphael's
right.
And that could obviously be an earnest part of your personality, which is a really clever way to lie or tell a story. So like when you're bluffing or you're trying to guess, like to mimic comfort is like very valuable. So like an element of this game that is going to be missing, which you'd have in poker, is like the limbic system. When your body takes over things that you don't control emotionally or mentally. Like when I was playing high stakes and on TV, my pulse would race, or you'd salivate if you have a really good hand and you just can't help it. So people swallow, and a lot of people think when you swallow, it's because you're nervous. But most of the time it's because you're like, your hypothalamus is just like, we're gonna win like $8,000, and you're like salivating. So you have to swallow it. No. So yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, obviously these are not uniform. There's definitely variance in people's projection. Even like in my own life of playing poker, like I had different tells at different points and concealed them, like to the point of probably being able to pass a lie detector test. But I definitely don't have those skills now. Like my body would react now. But you're very clever at this too. Also very well thought out.
You're also very good at this.
You would be a very serious opponent at Among Us or any other game like that. I look forward to getting that opportunity.
Yay! Thank you so much, Candace.
Bring us the next victim.
I just realized that I didn't come up with my own 2 truths and a lie. I absolutely.
What? Are you going to improvise them? Because I was going to read you, and you're going to show off all your acting skills.
I mean, I guess my question is that do I then get an advantage because I'm improvising them, like because they all will be equally off the cuff? You know what I mean?
Yeah, fine.
Do you feel like there is somehow?
No, I think in the same way that like writing them down gives you some uniformity, I think improvising them also does. Like and I think it's also kind of a little bit more natural. Because if I ask you questions or like if you have to reiterate them, you're not saying the exact same thing again. And sometimes that's best, because if you say the exact same sentence again, I may see different patterns in it than I did the first time.
Right.
So like basically when you're looking for tells in individuals, like the same people, you sort of do, or you're looking for pattern recognition. And, you may be wrong. Like the first time you think somebody's like pulse is racing, it may not be because they have a really good hand. It may be because they're nervous, because they're bluffing.
Right.
And like for me, when my first few World Series of Poker events I played, if I was in a hand, my whole body, like all the adrenaline was going crazy because I was just so excited to be playing a hand. It didn't matter if it was like, bluffing or if I had it. So, I mean, obviously, I think it's best to conceal anything, because if you give away something, you don't really want somebody to make a decision based on something that you did by accident or whatever. I don't know.
Right.
Like,
sure.
That's why I used to wear a lot of like hoodies just to cover my neck. Then I could swallow if I had a good hand. That's what they all say. Greta, can we get Maddie in? There we go. All right. All right, Maddie, hit us with your
Maddie.
Hello.
Thank you for coming on our show.
Thanks for having me.
Can you tell everybody what you host on the co-op?
I host theater games every other Saturday, and it's not your average zip, zap, zop situation. Our first show, we gave each other monologues and told each other we were auditioning off the cuff for something, but like I gave my guest the direction that she was auditioning for. Oh God. I think it was like she was playing a dead ingenue, but she had to read the lyrics to Margaritaville by Jimmy Buffett, for example, and other deranged things.
Amazing.
Wow, that sounds like a
That
lot of
sounds
fun.
so fun.
It's I mean, I'm starting to just recruit from this show alone. Just
Well, I
future
think
guests.
I mean, that sounds fun. I mean, I would not say that I act, but I can like do silly pretend like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
Seems
I
like
believe it.
If it's called a game, I can play it.
Yeah. I mean, bring it on. Bet.
You can cast me in the Game of Thrones sequel. It counts.
I mean, I wouldn't know enough about Game of Thrones personally, but
I was bullied
sure.
into watching it by other poker players, but then I don't regret that I watched it because I did enjoy it. But it
Yeah,
was like,
I don't know. I mean, there's some pretty women in that show. That's what I know.
I was so sick of people talking about this show before I had watched it that I went all in a tournament, a $1,500 buy-in tournament with King 6 offsuit just so I could get the fuck out of there because I was so sick of these dorks talking about this stupid show.
It's
And then
the
I went home.
rule, right? He was like,
I was like,
Do I
all
win
right, I'm done.
money, or do I give up $300 to not have to be in this room anymore?
That is one coping mechanism.
Yeah, it worked. All right, hit us.
Okay, so I'm also reading mine. I'm glad everyone else was. So my first one is that my last name is McCloskey. It is an Irish, well, I guess it's more an anglicized Gaelic word. It comes from Mac Bloske. I don't know if the accent is correct on that, but it means like blast or loud noise. And so it's always been a joke in my family that I am carrying on the family name because I do musical theater and I'm very loud. So that is my first one. And speaking of names, my second one is that my dad is married to his childhood sweetheart, and she's not my mother. And her name is also Maddie. And he knew her first. He's known her since he was 8 years old. And he gave my mother the go ahead to give me the name Madison that gets shortened to Maddie. For a while, was Maddie Jr. a name I was given? Who can say? Did my mother like it? Absolutely not. And that was 2. My third one is that, okay. On the night before my 28th birthday, I did shots of tequila with a cast member of the TV show Degrassi: The Next Generation.
You're gonna have to name drop. That's a rule of the show.
Okay, so I mean, are we familiar with Degrassi: The Next Generation? Are you familiar with the?
No, but I might know the actor.
Not to know one of their act. I mean, is it Drake? I know Drake.
It's not Drake. It's not Drake. The actor's name is Cassie Steele. She played the character Manny. If you saw the episode with the big, like, the thong over the pants moment is often on the internet. It was her, but she's like.
So we take this one back to the top.
Okay, so the first one is my last name, McCloskey. It is Irish / anglicized Gaelic.
Yeah, got that one.
For loud noise.
Number 3.
Number 3 is that on the night before my 28th birthday, I did shots of tequila with Cassie Steele from Degrassi: The Next Generation.
How many shots of tequila did you do?
At least 2.
Right. Is this
at least
at work?
I was working. I work at a piano bar.
How long were your mom and your dad married?
My mom and dad were married for, I want to say 12 years. It could have been longer. It might have been 13. I don't know.
All right, I'm good. I'm ready to guess.
Okay.
Ashlie, you got more questions?
I'm ready to guess. Saying McBlast.
Make bullshit.
Yeah, that's a lie.
All right.
Yeah, my last name is absolutely like linguistically fake. It's Simlikovsky is where it came from.
Yeah, well, so I knew 100% that it was one or two that were bullshit, unless number 3 also had some like synchronicity with the name thing. This is a very clever way to integrate a lie in a game like this, where there's 2 things that have very serious similarities, so that it parallels. So like one of them is true, and the other is like, so you basically, sometimes you can kind of narrow it down to those 2 particulars, because now you're like, oh, now we're in this realm. So if you're playing with someone like me, you could level me up, and then the third one would just be. But like, I also thought that you were trying to play the third one like bullshit because you weren't sure it was your 28th birthday. Tried to look down for that, which is very good feature. You tried. That you played it really well again when you did it on the second try. So that was very convincing, but I was already convinced that it was the first one. So
Yeah.
Awesome. Yes.
Thank
all
you
right.
so much.
Okay. So thank you, Maddie. We're gonna have a brief chat with Ashlie, and then we gotta text Tara and tell her to get into the.
Oh yeah.
So we can have you read her. Oh, I guess we should read each other first.
Oh shit. Okay.
Right. And then we'll have. All right. Yeah. Sorry, we're going a little over, guys, but we'll be wrapping this up quite quickly.
I'm gonna text Hammy right now to tell her.
Okay.
Come on. All right.
Well, she comes on. She just has to not watch until we tell her we're ready or something.
Oh.
Okay. So, do you want to go first, where I read you, or do you want me to go first?
I want you to go first because I still haven't figured out my 3. So.
All right.
I'm
gonna shuffle mine. Completely randomized. I don't know which one's first. Okay. I petitioned my high school to start a ping pong club. There wasn't one. My persistence won, and then I didn't join. I was an extra in a Joan Jett music video. Name drop. Carmen Electra was also in it.
Name drop.
Okay. But I admit, Dara. I was strongly against marijuana use until I was 21, aka legally allowed to drink.
What was the song for the Joan Jett video?
It was a cover. And I think it was called AC/DC. Maybe it wasn't a cover. Maybe it was like, maybe I think it's a cover because it was like, but it was cool. It was like, basically it was like a bi anthem. And she was like, it was like really kind of cute. And when Joan Jett I fucks you, it's real.
Say I fuck.
You're like, I'll do whatever you want. I'll do whatever pleather things you need. Like, I love her. She's PETA champion. She's the best. I also got to see her a lot live in concert. She's really good at eye contact. Like, she just like beams in with her like dark eyeliner very hard. It's very nice.
Right.
What else you got?
Gosh, why were you against weed until you're 21?
I don't know, probably just to be a pain in the ass. I think it started out of started because, you know, I was erroneously informed about some science. Like I was, you know, at some point I was like, oh, it might mess up your eggs. Like I was like totally crazed. Like, and then I was an athlete too though. So it wasn't really like a consideration. I mean, I drank in high school. It wasn't like I was like a goody two shoes or anything. It was weird. And like I had some friends that were kind of
not that there's anything wrong with not drinking or doing drugs.
Everybody can teetotal, people can do whatever they want, but like I had friends that were like into weed and would try it a lot, and I was very against it. Like they were annoyed with me, but it ended up being like fine. And then like when they stopped bothering me, I was like, all right, I'll try it now. You guys aren't so annoying.
Read these to me again in a different order.
Okay. I was strongly against marijuana use until I was 21. I petitioned my high school to start a ping pong club. I was an extra in a Joan Jett music video.
I'm going to say the Joan Jett video.
Yes. No, I was. They shot a video at the Hook and I got to be in it. I mean, you don't see me in it at all, but I like when they were like, Joan Jett's shooting a video here. And I was like, can I come? And they're like, yes. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was so excited. And then they were like, we need extras. And I was like, yes.
So which one is the lie?
Ping pong.
Nice.
Even though I'm a huge pain in the ass and I would do something like this, I hate ping pong. I'm terrible at it. If Eric is watching, my best friend from high school, she would kick my ass any day. But yeah, they probably didn't have one. But yeah, I tried to have, when I was first starting, it was like hard to, I think you kind of, especially when you're crafting a lie, you kind of go into like this kind of prepositional phrase area where like you want there to be some similarities. And you just want to make sure it doesn't sound too boilerplate, because then I don't feel like it's very unique and it doesn't seem like true to the form of the game. But
right,
I thought that Joan Jett video would sound like bullshit. That's why I included it.
Yeah.
Plus then I get to tell everybody that I was in a Joan Jett.
It's really good. It's really good.
I forget because it wasn't really a big song of hers, and I was kind of bummed because like she ended up dating Carmen Electra after that for a little while, which was like scandalous at the time. Like what does that even mean? Who even, I mean,
right.
Like, maybe I'm making that up to make it seem more fun. All right. You want to do True Side, or do you just want to read Dara? Because you can do that.
I've got 3, I think.
All right. Fuck yeah. I like that.
Okay. So, wait, I forgot. Okay.
Oh, I wanted to ask the group what they thought of mine.
I got them all. Oh shoot, I just lost the third one. This is why you should write them down, everybody.
Everybody in the chat should also guess on this one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Shoot, what was the third one? Oh yeah, okay, all right. Okay. Hold on, let me blow my nose.
That's a tell. Just kidding.
Okay. Okay. Here are my 3. Right. My car was impounded after getting in a wreck with a nun. Right. I have been banned from all Walmarts for shoplifting a scorpion belt buckle when I was in high school. And also when what was the third one? Fuck. Hold on, let me think about the third one. What was the third one? Oh yeah. The third one is that I was burned in effigy in between my high school and college freshman year.
What does that mean?
Like they made a doll of me and then strung it up and set it on fire.
Who is they?
Some kids in my town.
Is this like a thing that people, is this good?
Huh?
Is this a thing? Is this an Arkansas thing?
No, I think like effigies are pretty, like they go back like a long.
Right, but is it like a bad thing?
Yeah, no, it's a bad thing. Yeah, it means
between high school and college. But why did they do this? Do you know who did it?
Yeah, I do. It was at a punk show, and it was because I had written an article for the Arkansas Times where I accused the punk scene of being a shitty boys club, basically.
This sounds totally true. Even though, all right, that sounds fucked up, but true.
I appreciate that.
I just can't fathom that you'd be permanently banned from Walmart and I wouldn't have heard about it by now. So I just have to go with that.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
But that's only because, I mean, I feel like
you're like, I definitely would have bragged about having
been I was like, there's been conversations that Walmart has come up tangentially, and like,
right.
The car impounded with like a nun story just sounds like classic Ashlie, like awesome story down.
You're like, that's too on brand to not be real.
Like details of your stories would sound like lies for anyone else. You know what I mean? But like for you, they're like, no, that's real. That's a story that makes sense.
And it was her fault. But I didn't have my license, so my car got impounded, and the wreck was her fault. And she said it was because she had been fasting.
Oh yeah, all right, yeah. Blame fasting.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, if we did that, they'd be like, well, you should eat something. You know, you
Right.
shouldn't drive when you're
Eat a
hangry.
sandwich, bitch.
Don't drive when you're hangry, ma'am. You're dropping ma'ams all over us.
Right. No, they just look at me and be like, really? And I'd be like, yeah, fat people cannot eat for 10 hours.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna wrap it up with you reading, Dara.
Yeah.
But I want you, are there any questions you have before you go into this? All right, Dara's in.
Okay. What?
Hello.
Hi, Dara.
I'll assist by asking questions, but
I'm going to be very annoying today, and it's Dara. But
Dara, I know. I see. Like, so this is So
it's weird. Nobody knows my name here because
no, I know that it's Dara. So it's Dara.
Like darling.
Darling, Dara. But like, so what happens with names that are like, I guess they're not really like, what's the thing when it's like, madam, I'm Adam?
Oh yeah, no, it's the weirdest version of how to pronounce my
names that have like alternating consonants and vowels. I will always misremember how the pronunciation is. So I'm sorry, but like this is a problem.
I'm only correcting you because I'm trying to like get myself.
I will try. It will fail, but I will eventually just start calling you something else because everybody in this co-op has
everyone
like
calls me Hammy, so you can also just call me Hammy.
But I really love that you just did that, Dara. I really do. Like, I think that's really good, and I think more people should do that. I
want you to know that I thought about how I was pronouncing it when I said it, and I was trying to kind of ride the line so that I was doing both.
I noticed, and I was like, also, I'm just gonna, because also my like parents used to pronounce my name wrong, Gazoond. Right. So I have not been watching the show at all, and I'm not on the Twitch. I'm only on the Zoom because
I have a head
not to cheat.
Know that I have a head cold, so it's fun. And now I'm gonna try and read you with the stuff that I learned. From Lauren. Here we go.
I have not been like, there's no hints on how I'm supposed to put this or anything like that.
No, nope. Just do whatever you want.
Okay. So
and then we're gonna ask you some questions about them.
This is my nightmare. Okay. The Rugrats is based off of my brother and I. Penn Jillette of Penn and Teller is a family friend. I was a flying angel in a Mercedes-Benz commercial.
Fuck. Those are all really cool.
Right?
Now she's taking a sip. Self-soothing.
I don't
oral fixation is a self-soother, by the way. It is a primordial. You can't avoid it one. So just so you know.
How old were you during this when you made this commercial?
6.
And you flew?
I was a gymnast as a kid on the Olympic track, and they came into the gym and they did auditions there.
Gotcha. But you were a flying angel. Is that what you said?
They had us on a harness to do like flips.
What year were you born, if you don't mind me asking that on the internet?
1988.
Okay. What's number 2? What's number 2?
Penn Jillette.
Penn Jillette of Penn and Teller is a family friend.
Have you hung out with him a lot?
Yeah, I mean, he's from the same town as my dad growing up. He's from Cheltenham, which is like a suburb of Philadelphia.
Okay.
Do you know where he lives now?
You know, I think he's in LA now. But growing up, I would go back to Philadelphia every year to visit my grandparents. So we would like see mostly his grandparents and like his parents because they were still friends with my grandparents from there.
What's his wife like?
I don't know his wife because that was a while ago.
Okay.
Who is
the
Ashlie? The Rugrats, and how do you know them?
Klosky Chupo created the Rugrats, and when we were babies, they had children the same age as my brother and I, and we would all play together. And then that's how the Rugrats was born.
I think I'm ready to guess.
All right, I've chosen, but this is your show. I want you to see what you say.
Write yours down too, but I want to.
Yeah, mine's written down.
I'm gonna write first, and then you write. Or I'm gonna write first, and then you show after I found out whether I'm wrong or not.
Oh, you're muted.
I'm guessing Rugrats.
Rugrats. I'm not guessing Rugrats, so you can tell her that that's true.
That's true.
Amazing.
No. Yeah, like Rugrats is based on my brother. Like we were all kids together.
Yeah, that seems very true. And also, I feel like I watched that show and I can see your face in a Rugrat.
I mean, I was an infant. I was like, which one are you? And I'm like, well, I'm obviously Chucky in real life, but
That's amazing. Well, I mean, just like
definitely see that.
I was too little to be a Chucky.
Knowing you and then your energy could totally translate that to Rugrats. You know what I mean? Like even though you're a child, because that's your family and that's your essence. Like that's totally plausible. That's why I was
Yeah, there was like a neighborhood watch group. Also, you know who else was in that group was Ron Perlman. Yeah, it was Penn Jillette. He is from the town of Cheltenham, but my dad has never met him.
He lives in Las Vegas and he's been married a really long time.
Oh, you happen to know a lot about Penn Jillette. Damn it.
He's my friend and he's never mentioned you.
I was nervous that I had said
the end of the name dropping continues.
I was worried that I had said something to Ashlie about one of these things.
No.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
I mean, that's a fascinating. The Rugrats thing is fascinating, dude. That's
there was
cool.
something you did say something about the Mercedes-Benz one, so
that might have been the thing
But I didn't. I just knew that you had been. That there was something about being an angel, but I didn't know.
Man, people from LA can just make up all sorts of shit, and then like the stuff that's true is just like even cooler.
Right? I
definitely had to dig through. Usually when I play this game, I tell the like Corbin Blue from High School Musical taught me how to freak dance, which is a true story.
That's awesome.
Veronica's quinceañera.
Oh man.
I have fun name dropping. Everybody likes a name drop with Two Truths and a Lie.
It's true. It's a good
one. All right. I think we should wrap it up though, because it's 22 after the hour.
Oh my gosh, what a fun show so far.
Thank you so much, Dara.
That's what you're right, Dara. Love you.
This will help me remember. And yeah, they're back next week. They're back next week for big time.
Yep. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
We'll be back in 2 weeks. If you can, check out Fiona's Bar, which is opening on March 4th.
Yep.
It's in Brooklyn. Support local business if you can. And hopefully we will have Adrian, that is one of the owners of that bar, who used to work with me at the Village Idiot, on, and we can talk about dive bars because she has got stories.
Stories on stories.
Yeah. So.
And she's awesome. So
yeah.
Until then.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a good night. And thank you. Happy birthday to our producer. Happy birthday, Shan.
You say you're gonna make it rain. I don't feel it took a big game. But are you real enough to take the pain? That's what I'm giving, make you insane. Come and get it. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. When you see me coming, better step aside. 'Cause I got no time for your weakest lines. If I catch you in the club, try to fake my game. Bitch, you better go down and say my name. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom.